All right, welcome in, boys. It's Take It to the Bank NASCAR Prop Show for Martinsville, the Cookout 400. Coop, not here tonight. Meyer is here. What's going on, my guy?
I say this about every time we turn the cameras on, but this one rings a little more true than the last couple of weeks. Really feel like we could use a big one.
I did the math finally. On a week that we should have probably won 20 units, I found a way to drop 13 and a half. That's what happened when it was all said and done. So lost a little bit more than 13K, but I'm still up 35 units in 2025 and still up 8 in March. Somehow, thank God, the first 2 weeks you and I crushed in March. So it could be it could be a lot worse, man. But God, it don't feel great to drop almost 14 units in a weekend, especially on a weekend where you should have murked. It's one thing if like you just can't get out of your own way and you feel like that's happened to me a lot of times. You feel like you're walking through mud. You're not seeing the board clearly at all. You can't get anything right. That was not what happened to you and I last weekend. Last weekend, we just got deep dicked. And sometimes that's going to happen, man. Like there's just nothing you could do. Sometimes you're on the right side and it doesn't go your way. But luckily,
you can click all the right buttons and
right.
Things can still go the wrong way.
Luckily, over the long haul, we have a track record that speaks for itself for 6 years. So we'll just
When I was thinking about you adding up the plays, I was just envisioning you sitting in front of one of those, those old calculators that had the receipt tape on it, and you just clank those keys over and over.
I have one with the receipt tape.
That's what I envision you typing the numbers in, minus that number, bink, bink.
Dude, listen, dude, you know it's a bad weekend when Monday comes and you're like, not today. I'm not ready. And then Tuesday comes and you're like, nope, not today either. And then finally Wednesday came and I was like, all right, let me figure out exactly how much money we actually lost. And it wasn't as bad. I'll be honest. It wasn't as bad as I thought. I thought we were going to drop 20 units last weekend. It wasn't as bad as we thought. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We'll get back on track and do what we do. I mean,
I got a little bailed by the most fastest lap from Blaney, so that limited the damage. But we should have been just skipping hand in hand to the window.
People are like, the average person is going to be like, dude, how you might be the worst sports bettor of all time. How does one go 4-29 in a weekend? And how does one lose 14 units in a weekend? The same way that we can lose 14 units in a weekend is the reason why last year I made 270 units, and the year before that I made 330, because we swing, we take shots, and over the course of the long haul, it will go our way. That's been proven. Sometimes it won't, and when it doesn't, it's gonna hurt. So with that, NASCAR Prop Show, Meyer, Martinsville.
Here we go.
Let's make some money. All right, let's start with the top 3 market. I have no interest, although actually, let me pull that up real quick. Yeah, I don't really have interest. I mean, do I think that Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson could top 3 this race? Yeah. Am I going to pay $1.40 or plus 160 to see it? No, I'm not.
It's too flat. Don't you feel like the odds are too flat for top 3?
Yeah. I mean, I guess unless you're going to take like a long shot bomb guy that you think can't win the race, but maybe he could sneak. But even at that point, I would still rather bet the top 5 than bet the top 3. So,
right. No, and like Blaney being plus 105 to top 3 is absurd.
He's plus 140 at bet 365. But yeah, that is crazy. That's still crazy. I mean,
and you've seen the way his pit crew is. I mean, he could be dead. Like, he needs a long run. It feels like with the way his pit crew's been.
His pit crew can't be that bad though every week, can it? Like eventually they're going to show up.
I hope so, because this is not a racetrack where you want to have a bad pit stop.
True. Top 5 market.
Yeah, I think Chase Elliott's interesting here.
Yeah, I'm only looking at Bet365. So they have Blaney minus 130, Larson minus 110, Elliott minus 110. I think all 3 of them probably top 5. I guess I don't mind them. I wish they were plus 150 to top 5.
Yeah, the closest you're gonna see. So BR has 125 on Chase Elliott, but like the best out there outside of that is like even money at MGM. I think it's even money. It's not even money at Caesars. It's even money at 2 shops, I think, for Chase to top 5. That's still not terrible. If he's anything like he was at Bowman Gray.
Sign sent me a message saying that Greg from Win the Race loved Elliott. He's like, how much do you love Elliott? And I was like, well, me, Meyer, and Coop basically had him ranked 3rd behind Blaney and Larson. I like him a lot. But the problem is, like, 3 Hendrick cars could win the race legitimately. So at that point, like, what are you going to do? Not bet Larson and Byron too? Like, I'm not done. I'm not done capping MMA yet. I'll probably finish that up tonight in bed, and I'll have a better idea. But I mean, I think in a perfect world, you would probably rather get that number up on Hendrick because you can't bet everybody. If you have a Blaney ticket in your pocket, a Larson ticket in your pocket, an Elliott ticket in your pocket, that Denny Logano combo ticket in your pocket, and then you still got to worry about Byron, Briscoe. I mean,
are you talking top 5 market now?
No, I was just generally speaking about
Gotcha.
the outright market. Like I think it's safe to say that you, me, and Coop like Elliott as much as Greg does this week. But like a lot of people could win this race, you know?
Right. That's my struggle with Elliott is like, yeah, he was great last year, and yeah, he was good at the Clash. But outside of that, he's kind of really no-showed in terms of Hendrick.
This year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought he would have been a little bit faster to start the year. I don't really disagree. But
it's hard for me to go and put him in front of Larson.
The one spot that we saw him just always turn on last year were these short tracks. I think until we don't see that, we have to assume that that's what's going to happen.
And he was very good on this tire back in the fall, too.
Right.
The tires definitely mattered in the fall.
Right. And he had top 3 speed at both fucking races at Martinsville last year. So, yeah, he's going to be a problem, I think. But in terms of top 5, I guess if you can get the number up on Blaney, Larson, and Elliott, those would be the only 3 guys I think I would feel comfortable, unless you're just taking a shot at a price, at like a long shot. Like, could Bubba top 5 this race at 4-1? He could, for sure. Logano at plus 160-ish. He could top 5 this race. Those would probably be the 2+ money shots. If I was going to take them, it would probably be maybe a Bubba, maybe a Briscoe, maybe a Logano. But
yeah, Briscoe is going to be the guy I would ask you about.
Yeah.
What do you think about Barry? Continue to show speed?
I think Barry could also top 5 if he brings the speed he had from 2 and 3 weeks ago and not the speed he had last week. Yeah, I think that he could top 5. And like Coop said, this is probably his best track.
And you can almost get him at 4-1.
Yeah, that's the same number on him, Bubba, and Priest, basically 375. I'm seeing So, like, we mentioned 7 people that could top 5. But the people that have the best chance to top 5 are Blaney, Larson, and Elliott, I think.
Can't disagree with that.
So you either try to get the number up on those 3 guys to plus money and bet them, or you take a couple plus money shots on like Briscoe, Berry, maybe a Bubba. I don't think Priest could top 5. I think he's more of a top 10 guy. But I
Still
guess
not
you never.
sold on Hamlin, Mr. Top 5.
But yeah, but he's only plus 120. I kind of feel like he should be higher than that based on what he has shown us the last 6 months. Like,
Yeah, I would agree.
we can't just be like, oh, it's Denny Hamlin, and that's why he's plus 120. Like, eventually, the speed's got to be there, and it's not. Could be on Sunday though.
I mean, yeah. If there's ever we've said it a couple times, but if there's ever a week for Denny to come back alive, you feel like it's now.
Yes.
And with the softer tire, this plays into his hands.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I
I think I have a different way that I want to attack Chase Elliott, though. I guess we could talk about that later when we get to that market.
All right, top 10s. Let me pull BetMGM up too because they had some better prices. So you can't do anything with Blaney. You can't do anything with Larson. You really can't do anything with Elliott, Denny, or Byron either. I mean, all these guys are like minus 300 and up. I think Briscoe is probably where it starts. He's in that minus 175 range. If you can get the number to like even money, I think that's a fair bet. I guess you could probably get Joey to even money too, because he's only minus 190.
Who would you feel better about having, Briscoe or Logano?
I kind of
If
think
you had to choose one.
I mean, Coop said Joey's top 10 in this race 11 straight times.
I have to look into the numbers. I got
Like,
it up.
I kind of feel like they probably have about an equal shot to top 10. But if that's true, 11 straight top 10s, I mean, there's your answer. Josh
Yeah.
Berry. Is it 11 in a row?
I'm trying to find it. Yeah, keep talking. I'll get it.
Josh Berry at plus 110. Bubba at plus 110. I think that's a fair price for both guys. They could definitely top 10 this race at plus money. You can get plus 125 on Bubba at Bet365. I mean BetMGM.
Yeah, so Logano has top 10 this race, every race from March 2019 until now. He's had a couple of 10th place finishes.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah.
I mean, that's tough. That's tough to argue with.
Yeah, and most of the time he's running the stages inside the top 10. I mean, there's only 6 stages he has not finished in the top 10 since 2019.
Yeah, so the top 10s that I would be trying to get even money would be Logano and Briscoe. And then the plus money shots that I would feel comfortable with would be probably, I think if you bet Berry, Bubba, and Priest, you probably get 2 out of 3, barring fuckery. Those would probably be the only 3 guys, unless you were really going to start taking some shots to hit the top 10.
Yeah, I took one long shot, but
Who'd you take?
Todd G. It was 17-1, but I mean that number's gone now. But
has he had top 10 speed at Martinsville?
no. So if you look at front row, I mean, it's not been great. Not been great.
So
But
what made you take the shot?
when the race liked his numbers, I mean, they have his fair odds like closer to 3-1, and they lined it at 17. I looked at other shops that was 750. BR's got it at 5-1. FanDuel just hung a number that was
They had
$10 off the market.
fair odds on Gilliland, the top 10 at 3-1.
Yeah, and that's where I don't want to get into their numbers, it's their thing, but that feels a little light, but 17 feels a little long. He's only top 10 this race once, but I don't know. Maybe Ford shows up with some speed here. Like,
I mean,
it was 17-1 for a reason.
his average finish isn't terrible. I mean, it's 17th the last 3 years. That's not terrible. I get
Yeah,
why.
he's had one top 10 and 2 13ths, I think.
Oh wait, I'm looking at Coda. Sorry, I'm on the wrong tab. Oh yeah.
I mean, I just need him to squeak into the top 10. Like, obviously, if that number was 9-1, 10-1, yeah, pass. But
It says
17?
19. They have his average finish at 19.7.
Yeah, and then he moved over. He moved over to McDowell's car this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it at 17-1. I think 3-1 is a little crazy in terms of fair market value, but
Yeah, that's low. I thought my first thing was a little. It's better than like Custer, Suarez, Cindric. That to me was a little. Maybe we got a little aggressive with
I get it though.
G.
At 17-1, I get it.
Yeah, just a play on the number.
I don't see any bombs that I like really.
Yeah, I mean the market in general is really flat until you get to some of these real far outliers,
Yeah.
and like even those numbers they're just not great. Like there's
Yeah.
nobody in like those middle range that you like would want to take a stab at like 4-1, right?
Right.
Like it
That's
just
not
seems to just drops off a cliff.
right. So as far as the top 10 market, I would say my 5 favorite would be Logano, Briscoe, if you can get that number to even money. And then I think Priest, Berry, and Bubba all at plus money can top 10. I think that the number on Blaney, Larson, Elliott, Denny, Byron, it's just going to be too tough to get that number down. So it's really not even worth talking about. All right. Who we got next? Manufacturer. Let's start with winning manufacturer. Chevy plus 130, Ford plus 190, Toyota plus 210. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I
I
mean
don't
it's
know.
so heavily skewed to Chevy because of the whole HMS team.
I don't know how many Fords could actually win the race outside of Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano.
Yeah, do you think just outside of Penske that Ford's dead?
Maybe Josh Berry. Maybe. If he's wicked good. But yeah, probably. Probably just Blaney and Logano. If I had to guess. So that number on Chevy makes sense. That number on Toyota is a little fucking crazy. I mean, but I guess that they view it kind of like a 2v2. Like Logano and Blaney and Denny and Briscoe.
Yeah, I mean, how many Toyotas do you think? Like, do you think Chris Bell is still in the running here? Like,
I
where do you
think
put him with those guys?
he's the wild card. I don't know because he was so good on short tracks last year, but hasn't been phenomenal here. I think he's the one wild card. I don't know what to expect from him. I think you can count on Denny being good because it's here. I think you can count on Briscoe being good. I just don't know what to make of Bell. I don't
He does have a
know.
win here.
Yeah, but that's the
It was
only
2 years ago, I think.
and it was the only race he let a lap in. He hasn't even like remotely been close other than that one win.
He was not great last year in the fall.
So that number makes sense on Chevy, but pass on the market for me. All right, top Ford, the bane of my existence. Blaney even money, Logano plus 280, Berry 8-1, Priest 8-1, Keselowski 11. I agree that those should be your 4 favorites this week.
Yeah,
God,
no disagreements from me on that.
the books are getting sharper, bro.
Yeah.
Berry and Priest to be your 3rd and 4th choice to be top Ford, where it's just not automatically Keselowski and Buescher. That hurts my heart.
Yeah, I mean the numbers are definitely getting tougher to beat. Oh, so okay, so attacking or looking at this market, would you rather try to get the number up on the Blaney top Ford or the top 5? Because here you're already starting at plus 120. Like if you could get that to 2-1, would you rather take that than try to get even money on the top 5?
I think I would rather bet him the top 5 because, like, I see a world where Logano finishes 3rd and Berry finishes 5th. Like, and at that point, Ryan Blaney would need to finish 1st or 2nd to be the top Ford. I think I'd rather bet him to top 5 than be the top Ford.
I'd be floored if he finished the 3rd Ford or even the 2nd Ford and it was still in the top 5.
I mean, I think you can. It would shock you if Logano and Berry finished this race in the top 5.
He did as well, and he did as well. Yeah,
Really? You
yeah.
couldn't see Blaney, Larson, Elliott, Logano, and Berry.
No, I mean I can. I'm just saying I think I would be a little shocked if that was the outcome, considering the other cars that we think are going to be strong. To me, this just feels like a 2v2. It feels like a Blaney versus Logano.
I mean, it could be.
I just figured you're start with plus money here versus trying to get it to even-ish or whatever on Blaney's like top 5.
Part of me wants to just tap out of this market this week, bro.
Yeah, I mean, why twist your arm?
I got my ass kicked the last 3 weeks trying to bet this market.
And you know the worst part is they just teased you the entire race. Our guys just the 2nd Ford or
All
maybe the
3
3rd
weeks.
Ford.
All,
Yeah, I mean,
all
we're
3
just
weeks.
right there.
Yeah, we're right there.
With 10-1 to 20-1s, and we never had a shot. Never had a shot.
Never had a shot. We were running right behind the guy the entire race. Never had a shot. I think if I was going to bet the market this week for top Ford, I would get the number up on Blaney and Logano and just bet them. I kind of feel one of them is going to be the top Ford this week. Outside of that, though, I probably wouldn't get involved in the top Ford market. But I think that there's a better shot than most weeks that Blaney or Logano will be top Ford. As appealing as that Berry and Priest number are, I don't know. I just think it's a Blaney or Logano top Ford week. So that's where I'd be looking.
Especially with the speed that Penske's brought.
Yeah.
Well, really Blaney. Cindric's been fast too.
Yeah. It wouldn't shock me if he ran around in the top 10 for sure. Top Toyota, Meyer and I on Tuesday night bet Bubba at plus 850. We just decimated the fucking market. I haven't seen. I think Caesars has them at 5 right now.
Yeah, DK's got 6. Anybody who can still bet at ESPN, there's a 7. But
That's
for the most part,
365.
that 850 is gone.
Yeah, it's so crazy that we could bet one bet at one book, and you will not get that number at any other book for the rest of the week. Like, I know that we're good at this, but we're not that good at this, dude. Like,
Caesars is so hypersensitive to anything. I bet Chase Briscoe to win the poll at 11-1. That number is 450 now at Caesars, and that's what ESPN opened it. Briscoe's the favorite to win that.
That's just dumb. It's so stupid.
But that's how they it doesn't even matter it just seems like they're just instantly tanking the number when it opens early in the week. It doesn't matter what it is. Any action's going to move it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It just sucks that they set the bar for all these other books. So, and it's honestly from your side of things, when you give these bets out, it's very tough because you instantly move the number.
Yeah, like I purposely try to speak about it for a couple minutes when we're on the show to give people an opportunity to at least try to bet it. Like that on Tuesday night, we didn't bet it right away. We talked about it for a couple minutes. Hopefully some people figured out that we were going to bet it. And then a couple minutes later, we bet it. And then the number moved $3.50 in 18 seconds. So, I mean, like, what are you supposed to do with that?
It just evaporates when you bet at Caesars.
All right, top Toyota. So we bet Bubba. I probably should have bet a whole unit on him. I only bet a half unit thinking I was going to be able to get that 850 or better somewhere else. That's not happening. Are you going to bet Denny and Briscoe too? Or are you just taking the shot on Bubba?
I only have a half unit on Bubba now, but like
Same.
I was thinking like if we could get the number up on Denny to like 3.5, like I'd almost just put a unit on Denny and just ride both of those and hope that one of them gets there. If Briscoe feels like the one that will beat me, obviously Bell could do it too, but I don't know if I'm there with Bell.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Briscoe could definitely beat us. I guess Bell could too. Yeah, what's the best number on Denny Top Toyota right now?
See 150 at DK. MGM doesn't even have them up yet.
Yeah,
Not
they
that
have
FanDuel.
they don't have them yet, yeah. I'm looking at 195.
Caesars might have the best number. Caesars has got 195.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't hate that. Just trying to get
Some of that's probably overreaction to how far they moved the Bubba number down. They probably moved the Denny number up to adjust.
I'll probably try to get a piece of either Denny and or Briscoe. Considering that we're already on Bubba. And then call that a day with Top Toyota. All right. top Chevy.
I like Chase Elliott at 330.
I don't think anybody has a prayer to beat the top three guys.
Agreed.
I kind of feel like that's where the money is this week in this race.
Yeah, I mean, how often are we seeing these HMS guys not, if it's not all three of them running in the top 10, the majority of the race.
Like if you can get these three guys to like 12-1, you're fucking laughing on Sunday, I think. I just don't know. That's a lot.
And it was only easy to get him to 12-1. I do like the Chase number at 330 though.
Where is that number?
Caesars. They have Byron as the second favorite, and I think I'd put Chase ahead of him.
I think that's the market to
attack.
Yeah. I just don't see what has to. I mean, I guess the only guy that could kill you is Bowman if he just shows up in a big, big way. But outside of that, man, I mean, it's all over but the crying.
Yeah, you don't think Chastain's going to bring anything? Obviously, KB is just that car.
And then past them, it's not even worth talking about.
Right.
Yeah, I like this market. Out of like top Ford, top Toyota, and top Chevy, if we were going to attack one and try to get the numbers up, I think it would either be Blaney and Logano, what we want to do with Bubba or Denny, and then these three guys at HMS for top Chevy. But it's all going to come down to MMA, and if I could find it. That's what it always comes down to until football starts.
Well, I'm going to need you to lock in.
You got it, bro. Anything for you. But yeah, I mean, plan on us being on those three guys for top Chevy if we could find the pieces. Group bets.
I was kind of scouring, there's not, did you see FanDuel put groups up this week?
I did not.
Did they already take them down? If they already took them down, it's a joke. Yeah, they're gone. Never mind. They had like group 1 or group A or whatever it was, but it was a 4 driver thing, and I think it was almost all HMS, but they had Bowman. It was like 8-1, which is crazy in a 4-man group. But those are obviously gone. The only one that kind of stood out to me, initially, was this Group C at DK. As Ross, Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman, and Austin Cindric. Cindric's your long shot at 3-1. If Cindric or if Penske has speed, Cindric's not terrible at Martinsville.
What group is this?
Group C.
Where?
DraftKings.
Cindric against Chastain, Busch, and Bowman.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I mean, I could easily see him losing that too.
Right. But don't you think that it's almost like the two longer shots should be the two favorites here? Do you really put Ross in front of them?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would say you're probably right based on 2025. You can make the case that Bowman and Cindric should be the favorite in that group. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the first group that stood out to me at the prices.
Another group, bro, that we could smash. Group D. One of those things is not like the other. You want to take a
Yeah, I
guess?
think. Yeah, we're getting Kez out of there.
Right. How do you lose that fucking group? If you
Keselowski, the definition of gone.
I mean, Priest, Berry, and Bubba, we were just talking about those. All three of those guys are bettable at plus money to top 10 this race. Brad Keselowski, get out of my face.
Price the same as Bubba?
They're all priced the same.
Oh yeah, I guess that's something we're 250. Yeah, I mean everybody 260. I mean, yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Like we
Brad should
can't
be plus 350 minimum in that group.
God, let me find the parlay pieces this week. I mean, I like that group. I like that group D. I think you bet all three of them.
Yeah, you can't find us a nice little plus 300 little KO 1 and 2.
I'm the only guy that's got to do my job. Nobody else can do their. You know what I mean?
That's why you're the guy in the red hat.
Fuck.
Do we need to send you another gumball machine?
Yeah, I like that group. Group D. Let's see what else we got. Bet 365.
It sounds like you're almost more excited to attack these props than the outrights. Due to the pricing on the outrights.
Yeah, because like think about it. We're talking about we're at a point now where it's like, do you bet Ryan Blaney to win the race at 450? Or do you bet this guy to win a group and beat three other cars that are not remotely as good as Ryan Blaney at plus 280? Like that's where we're at now.
Right. The numbers are so low on the top three. Like there's no like the books have priced these so accurately to start the year. Like we sound like we're just like, oh yeah, just go out there and bet the favorites. But like we can't go out there and tell you to bet these longer shots because I mean they're just dead.
Do you remember what I said a couple weeks ago that concerned me the most?
About the books kind of catching up with the numbers and the data that we're getting?
Like the numbers have been getting tighter for years, right? But this is the first year where the top 5 shots that have the best chance to win the race are your top 5 in odds, and that's never been the case. We were always finding the guy that had the third best shot to win the race as high as 18 or 20 to 1 because the books weren't that familiar with the next gen car. That's over with now. They have enough data. We're in year 4, and now we're not only getting squeezed, but they have enough data to know who should be the favorites now. And that's an added extra piece we're dealing with this year that we did not have to deal with anywhere near as much in the last 3, which is why I'm gravitating towards props a lot. Yeah.
And you know what's even more scary is I was listening to a podcast today. So like there's a Twitter account called Racing Insights. It has a ton of just race data for all sorts of races, right?
Okay.
Well, race data has now started a new account called NASCAR Insights that has a lot of NASCAR data as well. And right now they're just basing this all off of loop data, right? But they said the future of this will be until they get GPS data from the cars, kind of like what I assume F1 has.
Right.
Once that GPS data is available on the fly, right, like real-time data, I think we're going to be even more fucked. Because you're not telling me that we're going to get that without the sports books getting that data.
Right.
So that's even more concerning. That basically that the books and us will get that basically that SMT data when it's all readily available. Like there's the days of us being able to just say, hey, Ryan Blaney's coming. He's in 12th, right? Like we're already getting squeezed out when we notice a good car. I think it's
Right.
going to be even tougher.
Yeah, it's definitely getting tougher. And it's being compounded every year. But again, like 3 of the last 4 weeks, we should have made 60 fucking units. Like, they're still not good enough to beat us. It takes what happened to us last weekend for us to lose consistently in this sport. Now, if we just suffer the worst beats of our life week after week after week, year after year, then we're going to have a hard time. But until that happens, they might cut down our profits slightly, but they're never going to be able to beat us because this isn't fucking a normal team sport. It's too hard. People that are really plugged in are always going to have the edge.
Unless they have same person who's laying odds at Caesars. If he's everywhere, we're a little bit of a pinch.
Yeah, Caesars has that one that Caesars got a dude. Caesars has a Coop and Keg and Meyer. What are you going to do? Not all the sports books have one. You know?
Yeah, yeah. He might get the data before we get the data.
Yeah. Did you look at the groups at Caesars?
I did. Nothing really stood out. We can go through them again. I wasn't a pinch this week at work, so I haven't went through these markets with a fine tooth comb. I'm not sure how many of these you have.
Mm-hmm.
And like maybe we mix these up too, because like Group C's got that Barry and Bowman and Kez. They swapped Chastain into it instead of Bubba, but Barry over there is 275. We got a bit of Bubba in that group. Cause like so here's where the thing that about Cindric jumped off the page to me. If you look at Group D on Caesars, Cindric is the favorite, him and Bubba at 235, and then it's Reddick and Kyle Busch, and Cindric is 3-1 and Kyle Busch is 250 in that same group over at DK.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. If we're just looking at 2025 speed, Cindric and Bowman should be favored in that group. I don't disagree.
Yeah, maybe I'll use some of those parlay legs and just take those two in that group, and then just hope Chastain. I mean, if Kyle Busch shows up, he shows up. But
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with him this week too. I don't think you can count on it, you know?
right,
I don't mind Group B. Like, the numbers are low on Logano and Elliott, but I do think they have an advantage probably on the other two.
so what if we don't do Group D at DK and instead take two people from Group H at worst numbers at Caesars? You get Barry and Bubba against Reddick and Kyle Busch.
Yeah, 190 and 230.
Right. But then you're not betting three of them.
Yeah, that's true. I'll know more when I have a better understanding of where I'm at with MMA. What tomorrow is what? Just truck practice and qualifying?
Yeah, I think it's early. I think it's like 2:05 your time.
You know what I think I'm gonna I don't want to really give it out on this show. But I think I'm going to bet the winner of trucks and Xfinity together. And
Yeah, I'll
leave Cup
there.
out. I'm gonna leave Cup out of it, but I think I'm gonna bet because I just don't see how Almirola loses that race on Saturday. if he stays
I hope you were right.
if he stays clean. I might use him as an anchor for Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, I actually bet him straight, but with the intention that I will be betting him again.
All right, so that's groups. Don't see any other groups I like. What's next? Matchups.
Do you have the balls to press the button on Elliott over Blaney at plus 135?
Maybe. That's a good number.
That's
He
the one that stood out to me.
He shouldn't be plus 135 against them. That's a little crazy.
That was the one that stood out to me. That's at MGM.
Boy, Ryan Blaney is such a fucking wagon now, though.
Yeah, but he's had 3 DNFs in a row, and he's had 2 motors let go on him.
2 motors blew up?
So he had the DNF, or he had 3 DNFs, but he had the motor blow, then he had the wreck, and then he had the motor blow, I think.
That's concerning.
Speed comes at a price, apparently.
I don't mind Briscoe over Bell.
What's the price on that?
Like 120 minus.
What would you need? What would you need? Bubba heads up against Bowman.
Even money.
You can get that at MGM as well.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah, would you take Briscoe minus 105 over Bell? Or what was the number you got? Even money?
Briscoe, what was it? Over who?
Minus 105 over Bell?
That's a better number. I was looking at minus 120. Yeah, minus 105 is better.
DK's got that.
That's pretty close. Wow, they got Bowman against Cindric. That's where they see Cindric's speed right now.
Yeah, so let's circle back. What was his top 10 price?
Cindric?
Yeah.
Plus money, but barely.
Plus 125 at MGM.
Well, actually, it's plus 180 at that 365.
Not a bad number.
God, that's so gross, though, Meyer. It's Austin Cindric.
Plus, he's plus 110 at Caesars, but they're the tightest in the top 10 markets.
But I get it. He's been driving around a lot in the top 10. So I get why they are moving the number, but that's a little aggressive.
Yeah, you can get 160 at other shops too. But I mean, he's even money at Caesars. That's even worse, or at DK. That's even worse than Caesars.
Yeah, it is.
Jesus. They just nuke all the numbers on the top 10s, it feels like. There's just such a flat market when 20 guys are even money to top 10.
I wish they would bring that top 20 market back.
Well, have you played in the top 10 market for Xfinity and trucks at 365? There's definitely some exploitable markets there.
I haven't yet. I don't see any other matchups I like.
Caesars got into the fastest lap market this week. Not most, but just the fastest lap. Numbers are terrible.
I guess I don't mind that Bubba at even money.
Would you play that over the Elliott over Blaney?
I don't mind that either. At plus 135.
You're probably. I mean, you're just going to be sweating that one the entire race unless Blaney lets something happens.
Yeah, it'll be a sweat all day.
Which they ultimately always seem to come down to that. Do you like anything for qualifying or anything for anything else in this race?
I don't think this is a good race for most fastest laps.
No, I did not play that this week because when you're going to be in lap traffic in 25, 30 laps, I mean, how are you going to set fast laps?
Correct.
I went all the way back through 2022. I mean, outside of last fall with Blaney, I mean, most guys were, within 10 laps of each other. The top three guys who had the most fastest are probably within 10 laps of each other.
You know what? I didn't mind some of the numbers, those team triples on Caesars, like those HMS teams to win the race top 5 and top 10.
Oh, yeah.
I think that there is a very good chance that happens this week. I think that the kicker is the winner because Logano could beat you and Blaney could beat you and Briscoe could beat you and Denny. But if you get the winner, I do think that the other 200 cars are going to top 10 and top 5. One of them will be in the top 5. One of them will be in the top 10. They might all three be in the top 5. You still win.
Right. Yeah, I mean, HMS just runs so solid here. I think Greg told me something like 35% of races the team has run around in like the top 5 or top 10.
Like Larson to win, and Larson wins. Elliott wins. Larson top 5. Byron top 10 is 16-1. And Larson wins. Elliott top 5. Byron top 10 is 12-1. I don't hate both of those.
Yeah, then you could flip Larson and Byron and get to 20-1 on Chase. If Byron top 5s and Larson top 10s.
I feel better about Larson top 5ing.
Yeah.
Willie B could do it though. I mean, Willie B could win the race if he
Right.
really shows up.
You don't want to take the shot on Ty Gibbs win, Chris Bell top 5, and Denny top 10 at 100-1?
Definitely not.
FanDuel brought your specials back, by the way.
I could see Blaney winning, Logano top 5, Cindric top 10 at 20-1 though. That wouldn't shock me either.
Which Blaney, Logano, and Cindric, yeah. Agreed. There's so like in the FanDuel specials, you can get Denny wins the race and Bubba top 10s. That's like 17-1.
What is it?
Denny wins and Bubba top 10s. That's
Oh,
17-1.
You're looking at FanDuel?
Yeah, they're specials.
All right, let me go. Let me look at those.
I think it was under fan. I think it was Motorsports too. Yeah, Denny Hamlin wins the race and Bubba top 10s at 17-1. So Denny's under 7-1. Then you add Bubba in there, you get 17-1.
Kyle Larson wins the race. Joey Logano top 3 is 24-1. That could definitely happen.
Larson wins and Logano top 10s is 750.
What do they got for Elliott?
I was searching. There's not a lot.
Elliott wins and Cindric top 10s 20-1.
Like some of these are just crazy. Like Elliott wins and Kez top 3. I mean, what do we like? Just save the space. What are you doing? Don't even type it out.
Larson top 3, Elliott top 5, Bubba top 10 is 10-1. That's not bad.
No.
Imagine saying that in 2025. That's not bad. 10-1 for 3 guys to finish in the top 10. Fuck me.
And Bubba feels like your wild card. And he's got a top 10.
McDowell and Bubba to top 10 is 30-1. Can McDowell top 10?
What's McDowell the top 10 on his own? I think it was like 9-1. Do you ever look at the both to finish top 10 markets on Caesars?
Sometimes, but the prices are so bad.
Yeah, that's just so thin considering the outcomes, especially if one guy does terribly.
There are a couple interesting ones, but there aren't a ton I like.
Yeah, in like these instances, I would almost go like you were saying with the team triples instead of some of these. But like, I don't think it's a bad number. Like if you wanted to bet Denny and you can get Denny at 17-1 with a Bubba top 10 included, like that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Did you want to touch on anything with the trucks or Xfinity? I know you want to save a play for subs, so
I mean,
give outrights.
Xfinity, it's very hard to look at anybody other than Eric Almirola. I don't think anybody. How are there any Cup regulars in that race?
I don't believe so.
I don't remember seeing any.
No. No.
Yeah, I mean, he's looked so good in both races that he's been on the track. And he's very good at Martinsville. He's a great short track guy. He's a great tire wear guy. He's going to be a problem.
And that car has been an absolute rocket ship this year,
So
like it was last year.
It's hard to look at anybody else other than Almirola. For trucks, the Lane Riggs price kind of threw me off.
Yeah, I had to message you because I couldn't believe it.
Like, I get that's about where I thought they would put Byron. But I just would have thought that Majeski and Heim would have been the second and third choice. And I guess you could make the case for Chandler Smith to be the fourth choice.
Yeah, he was good in Xfinity here. And I think he has a truck win here.
But I kind of respect that number on Lane Riggs because he while he wasn't great here, he was so good on every short track last year. Like, I kind of feel like you have to take that number real serious.
So I'm assuming that's pretty much what every other book probably opened him at too. Yeah, 320-ish.
I'm going to dig in bed to trucks a little bit more to see where I'm going to go.
Yeah, I paid the price to see if the 19 truck is the 19 truck or if it was Eckes.
Would you bet Hemrick?
Yeah.
At what price?
25-1.
I guess I get it. If that truck is that good again, it's not bad to have that number at 25-1. I just don't know if it was the truck or if it was Eckes.
Well, that's what I said when I bet it. Like, I'm going to pay to find out if it's the truck. Because if that truck qualifies well, that number probably goes to 10. If it starts in the top 5.
Maybe. Yeah.
What do you think? The only other thing for the other series would be, what do you think of Sammy Smith top 5? So
What's the
good at
number?
short tracks. 365's got -120. Like, say you tied something to that and you got it to 180, plus 180 ish, 2-1 ish.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get plus money on it, if you can get that number to like plus 150, I don't have a problem with it. I wouldn't lay a vig on it though.
Very good at short tracks.
These top 10 numbers are fucking crazy. Sammy Smith is -400 to top 10. I don't give a fuck if he's on a go-kart in somebody's backyard.
Yeah, they just don't like you can't bet the top 3 favorites in these races to top 10. That price you're just completely priced out.
Does Zilich have any Martinsville experience?
I mean, they primarily just run short tracks when they run an ARCA, so I'd have to go back and look at what his.
I'd be interested to know what him and Sawalich did on short tracks.
Well, did you see the Twitter snafu of people that were betting Sawalish to win the race? DK accidentally added an extra 0 to his outright price.
I did not.
So there was a bunch of stuff about people betting Sawalish to win the race at like 500-1, and then everybody victory lap in the CLV.
That's a great way to get your fucking account health terminated.
Quickly.
These guys are too dumb to know what they don't know.
Boy, I don't know. I have to go back and I'll have to dig into it a little bit to see what Sawalich and Zilich had done in other series, but yeah, they've had speed. Obviously, drives good equipment.
Yeah.
Before we close up shop, did you see highlights of KB racing against his son?
I actually watched it last night. Yeah. It was pretty cool. I mean, neither of them won the race, but it was cool. It was cool to see that little kid wheeling alongside his dad.
Yeah, honestly, to me, it felt like Kyle could have won if he really pushed it. Because I don't know if you saw towards like, I don't know, lap 16 of the 20 lap, he ran that high line and instantly picked up 2 quick spots.
Yeah,
I just don't think he wanted to drive too far away from his son.
Yeah.
And did you see like the tweets that were going out that Brexton beat Lawless Allen, and so there was another driver in there as well that was an Xfinity guy.
That's pretty funny. That kid's going to be good.
He's gonna have one of the best talents to ever do it, coaching him through his entire career. So
yeah, he's going to be good. All right, we're out of here. We will be back tomorrow night for the NASCAR truck race. Saturday, we have MMA. We have the Xfinity race. I think Saturday night, Holden. Actually, I don't know if he's doing anything on Saturday because I'm not sure what time the USC card is. Let me check that. 7 p.m. Yeah, so it'll probably just be us on Saturday for the races, unless he goes live early before the prelims start at 4. What time is the race on Saturday?
4:30's countdown to green. 5 o'clock is race time. And
Yeah,
don't forget Sunday we do have the threat of rain.
right. What are the chances up to?
Bob was showing as a I don't know if we got it updated. It was 30% yesterday. I think I've seen as high as 50%. Just depends on what time. Hopefully the weather cooperates. It's NASCAR. We always seem to find the rain.
Yep. But
And
Friday
Infinity is P and Q on Friday, by the way, at 4:30 your time.
tomorrow.
Yep. So trucks go at 2:05. Xfinity goes at 4:30. Truck race 7:30.
Okay. All right, so we'll be live tomorrow at 7:30 for the truck race. We'll be live at 4 o'clock on Saturday for MMA and NASCAR. The boys might do something for college hoops if there's a game before the 4 o'clock slate. I have no idea if there is. And then Sunday we'll be back, obviously, for Cup, God willing, the weather cooperates, and that's it. Time for a big weekend, Meyer. Time for us to get back on track. I know we're still up very well in 2025, but we took a hit last week. So let's get that back, boys. For Meyer, I'm Keg. We will see you guys back here tomorrow, 7:30. We're out. Later.